And there you go.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks everyone for joining this Lunch and Learn session with Acuity. My name is Jay Koduri. I'm a principal consultant at Acuity Cloud Solution. I have Cami, Shri, and Patty with me. Together, we'll be presenting to you HCM Fusion 23C updates. So when we started putting together this presentation, we realized that we have a number of updates we want to share with you today. So we won't be able to take any questions, unfortunately, during the call. But having said that, we really wanted to hear from you and answer any questions you may have. So please feel free to leave your questions in the chat window, and one of us will pick those up and respond to you after the session. So I'll be presenting the global human resources and talent management updates, and I will pass it on to my colleagues to share the remaining areas. So with human resources, the first update that we have is area of responsibility usage. If you are using area of responsibility and familiar with this, include in work contacts option, you need to check that option in order for the AOR to be usable in journeys as well as be part of the work contacts. So with this enhancement, you are getting a new field, which is called AOR usage. You can associate a bunch of product areas to it. So you can specify if these AORs are specific to approvals or specific to journeys, or if they're specific only for work contacts, because if it is something which is a work contact, you probably don't want to see them under the full list and need to be able to select from that list. So this kind of simplifies that whole thing. This is actually an idea from the Customer Connect that Oracle picked up and delivered because a bunch of customers with hundreds of AORs are having issues with not having an additional filter. The next one is the documents of records. There are two enhancements within that area. One of them is the tags functionality. You can create a tag with a user-defined list and associate your document types with that tag. And what that tag does is actually it groups all of your document types under one tag, plus it also facilitates easy search. The second one under DOR is the multiple occurrences check. Right now, when you're defining a document type, you can define that at person level as well as assignment level. And you can also specify whether you want to allow multiple occurrences for each document type or not when you're defining the type. But what that is doing is when you have multiple assignments, for example, and you have 2 employment agreements, one for each assignment, because this checkbox is checked, you can only upload 1 employment agreement for one of those assignments. You cannot do 2 employment agreements, for example. That's just an example. It just applies to any document type. But with this enhancement, when you have multiple document types, one for each assignment, you can still go ahead and apply those, attach those documents. Okay, so the next one is the worker REST resource update. So this is mainly for the Workers REST API. There are additional fields added there. As you can see, you can upload override standard working hours, or you can upload adjusted FTE and some other corresponding fields for worker assignment. The next one is the journeys enhancements. There is a control search on assigned journeys tab. Today, you can search for journeys using person name or journey name, but now they're providing additional criteria to be able to, you can control that on the assigned journeys tab itself. The next one is the reminder action. Right now, when you're defining a journey template, within the notifications tab, you can set reminders as an administrator. You can say, I want to send reminders between these dates and these dates, or within 5 days after triggering the journey or something like that. But this option allows you to actually bring that reminder action into the display settings. So you can control who can see, who cannot see that reminder action, and be able to control it from the UI. The next one is the Redwood user experience. I'm sure most of you have been hearing this term Redwood quite a number of times from Oracle, from your consultants, from everywhere. So this is like a next generation user experience that Oracle wants to bring forward to all of its clients. So what this typically does is it kind of brings you a very flexible and modern layout, which is it's easier to actually make modifications to it. Those dashboards are easily customizable. You can have different colors, fonts, and all of it to work for different screen resolutions. And you can have consistent application toolbar across your applications. Also, something like the mouse mileage reduction. When you have to go through several pages, you have to do multiple clicks to go through several pages. But if you have most of the items presented to you in a single layout, it's easier to go through different actions and perform actions. So that's one thing they're bringing forward with this Redwood experience. So you'll see that throughout this presentation, we have Redwood experience for all of the pages, many of the pages that they're bringing forward with each and every release. For human resources, these are the three areas. When you access the shared data access page, or you go to the pending workers page, or any of these pages, you will see Redwood being enabled. But with that said, like, it's not mandatory right now. You have the option to control through profile options which page you want to have Redwood experience on. If you are a Journeys user or a help desk user, you're probably experiencing the Redwood already because those modules are already developed on Redwood. So you'll see similar experience in these areas when you enable the Redwood profile options. The next one is position approvals AOR. This is mainly for the approval management area when you're defining approvals for any kind of position management transactions, like your create position, your update position, or any of those. In the past, you can select a representative type and send it to the requester's representative type. But now with this enhancement, if I'm the requester, I can send it to my manager positions AOR. So instead of like sending it to a representative of that department or for that specific organization, you can route it through the hierarchy, through the position hierarchy, and AORs associated with that position incumbent. The next one is the higher right enhancements for I9. When you're doing the integration with higher right, you go into your setup and maintenance, you add all of those configurations in there. Right now, it's all manual. When the higher right sends the information back, the task completion within Journeys is manual, but you can automatically complete the task now with this enhancement. And the next enhancement in I9 is that in section 2, there is only one user reference field for primary email, which is not the great reference field if you think about it. So there are additional fields added there: person identifier, person number, which provides better reference for an employee. So those are a couple additional fields added in that area. So that's for human resources. I'll talk about talent management now. Okay, so for talent management, there are a bunch of enhancements, as you can see here. Some of them are delivered disabled and some of them are delivered enabled. Anything that delivered disabled, you'll have to perform some settings, be it a profile option or some configuration settings to enable that and have that experience. Anything that comes disabled, it's available to you right away. You can start utilizing it once your environment has been moved to 23C. So the first one in talent management is the default goals sort order. Right now, when you have a goal plan and a bunch of goals within that goal plan, you can sort them using the display sequence. You can move things up and down and arrange them in whatever way you want and then publish the goal plan. But with this option, you can actually sort them using any of these options. If you want to sort them by goal status, for example, you want all your not started goals at the top, completed at the bottom, and in progress in the middle, you can still do that using all of these options provided to you. Talent review filter enhancement. So this filter, this management level filter that you see here, this is already available in 23B. An enhancement has been made in 23C for this. You will see this filter when you're trying to create a talent review meeting and try to add a bunch of people as talent review population to that meeting. That's when you will see this filter. In the past, let's say you want to pick all the first level managers, you need to know that entire tag for you to put it in and then search. So all the first level managers will show up here. But it's really not ideal for, like, I mean, managers or any users won't really know what are all the options available by heart. So this enhancement allows you to just put part of the name like this. If you just put man, it just shows you what all options are available that matches with that search criteria and allows you to pick and choose which one you want from this list, and then retrieves the relevant results here. And the way you enable that is through configuring talent review dashboard options. You are enabling the filter itself, not the enhancement. Enhancement comes by default once you enable this filter while configuring your dashboard reviews. Dashboard options for the talent review. The next one is the potential assessment option. So potential assessment is something you do again when you're doing the talent review. You create a potential assessment questionnaire, link it to your talent review. Managers can go in and assess their talent review population through using this questionnaire. In the past, there is no comments field given. Like, we gave them a question, a bunch of options. Managers can select which option is relevant, but there is no way they can provide comments to justify why they gave that particular rating or comment or, selected that option. So this, when you're creating the questions itself in the questionnaire, you can use this checkbox to add additional comments. And once those comments are added, managers can actually go in, add the comments, delete the comments, update the comments until they submit the talent review. Once they submit the talent review, these comments can not be updated. They can only view the comments. And facilitators can also view the comments when they're conducting the meetings. Just one downside, at least for 23C for this one, is it's not right now available in OTBI. That field is not made available. Probably future releases, but that's something you need to be aware of when enabling this. The next one is succession org chart user experience changes. Again, this functionality is already available. You can access succession org chart in 23B as well. The difference is that right now you just see direct as one tab. But they have split it into direct with plans and direct without plans to give more clarity. So managers can directly go to that specific area if they want to see anybody without plans instead of going to the direct tab and finding who does not have plans. So in order to enable that, again, this is to enable the entire org chart feature, succession org chart feature. You can use these profile options and enable that, and then you can run this process to make sure the information is up to date on your org charts. Again, Redwood experience for succession management. All of these pages have been enhanced into Redwood. You can see add to succession plan, create succession plan, create talent pools, add to talent pools. All of these are available in Redwood. You can use these profile options, enable that. You can start releasing some of these areas to your employees to start, understanding the look and feel of how Redwood looks and feels like, because in some release down the road, similar to how people moved from classic to responsive, Oracle will make all the clients move from responsive to Redwood pages. And these are some examples on what it looks like on the succession management, some more examples on what the Redwood pages feel and look like. This is profile management. Again, the only changes here are, again, Redwood. All of these pages, a bunch of pages actually under profile management have been moved to Redwood. So this is probably a good area for you to enable and start understanding how Redwood looks and feels like. So all of these profile options will allow you to enable that and start utilizing the Redwood pages. The next one is mass recalculating manager ratings. Today, when we need to recalculate the ratings, it's a manual step that managers need to do to go in and recalculate. But this option allows you to programmatically mass recalculate the manager ratings using HDL data loader. So this is the action that's available to do that. The next one is the deep links for all-in-one evaluations. All-in-one evaluations is a page which is available in 23B as well, if you have seen it before. It's more like a tabular representation of all your employees on the left-hand side and all your rating sections on the top, similar to an Excel spreadsheet. You can evaluate all your employees in one go using this all-in-one evaluations page rather than going to each and every employee, each and every section, etc. So for that, Oracle has provided a deep link, so you don't have to really go through multiple pages to go there. Once you have a deep link, you can actually enable it anywhere, so it actually simplifies the navigation for this feature. Deduplication of competencies on performance documents. So today, when you are when you're bringing your competencies into performance documents, there is a possibility that some of the competencies get duplicated if they are, let's say you as an employee, you are adding certain competencies to your talent profile, and then you get certain competencies because you are linked to a particular job or a position or organization. When you have duplicate competencies between your personal profile as well as your job profile or org profile, those competencies will flow over to your performance document today. But with this enhancement, when you run this process, it actually verifies and removes all the duplicate competencies and then just gives you the unique set of competencies for evaluation. Last but not least, under talent management, we have Oracle Grow. Oracle Grow is part of Oracle Me Experience platform, if you're familiar with it. Items like journeys, digital assistant, help desk, connections, touch points, all of these are part of Oracle Me Experience, and Grow is something that they have added recently. So all of these tools, they sit on top of HCM, retrieves data from core HR, talent management, learning, and present it as an enhanced user experience to you through journeys, Oracle Grow, and all of these features. Grow specifically, it allows you to kind of, it actually looks at your learning platform, it looks at your talent management platform, and kind of works as an AI for you, a personal development coach kind of thing for you to present all these opportunities to you. What kind of, it gives you curated learning playlists, and it tells you based on your career preferences what skills you need to achieve, and what are the learning programs you have available in your system to be able to do that. And in order to utilize Grow, you need to be live on learning. And Oracle also recommends to have other areas because, if you want Grow to work, obviously it needs to know what programs you have, what kind of profiles you have in the system, skills, qualifications, job profiles, and all of that information for it to really match and provide you the recommendations. So that's all from me. I will pass it on to Cami for recruiting.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. So a couple notes before we dive into the actual changes. So there's not a whole lot in ORC this time around. As you know, they've been really adding on features the last 3 or 4 releases, very large, in-depth features. It's my understanding that's going to be revving back up starting in 23D. So this is a little bit of a down cycle, but there are some really interesting changes that we have coming. So a lot of it is look and feel, kind of making the user experience a little bit better. So let's start with the recruiter experience. Now when you, on 23C, when you log in and you go to My Client Groups, you will see an activity center. From there, instead of clicking on hiring and then clicking on the tabs on the left with create a rec and all the other stuff that you can do it straight from the My Client Groups page now. So they're quick actions, so you can create a requisition, coordinate interviews, add a candidate. You can go to search, a whole bunch of options will show up right there, so you can go directly to where you want to go. So this is an opportunity to alleviate some clicks for you, which I think is a great add. So again, that's going to really enhance the recruiter side. On the candidate side, when you're building out your career sections, you can make them a little bit more enjoyable. You can add some flexibility in the layout and the design of the career sections. You can do now different headers per page. So if we have any career section builder people here, you know that right now you get one header and that's all you get, and that's what you get, and that flows across every page. Now you're going to be able to add in additional headers per page and a little bit more dynamic movement through the system. It's going to be secured there with HCAPA, so that will be really, really nice. So that will lock it all down and make it a lot easier to use and just tighten everything up for you. And it's going to activate recruiting locations. So what this means And again, if we have any admins in here, you know, when you create put primary locations in ORC, you pull from a list, right? So you can have a very limited list that just has your locations. But a lot of people actually set it up to have all the locations in there and bring over the whole global setup. And that's totally fine too. Different strokes, just depends on what you want. But what they've been turned on now is that if you have, let's say you have 15 locations in the United States. You've got Seattle, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, blah, 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 down the line. But you're only actually actively recruiting in 5 of them. So Seattle, San Francisco, let's do Chicago again, New York, and Houston. So we got those 5. You have job openings. When someone searches, those locations are going to come up to the top first. So no matter what you do, it's going to filter and bring them right to the top of the list. So your active jobs will be the first things they see, not just errant locations. And it will actually also line them up to the closest one with a job in it. So where I live, I've got Portland and Seattle within a couple hours of each other, and you could have jobs in Portland, but not in Seattle. If you put in Seattle, it will bring up Portland at the top because it has jobs. Okay, so it's a pretty cool new tool. Very exciting. There's also search engine optimizations for the end user, so the candidate themselves. Site descriptions. So when you're searching as a candidate, your domain verification, your keyword searches, site descriptions that you can add as an admin will make it much easier for the candidate to pull up and find your jobs. Okay, you'll see that a lot with like an Indeed and some of the other job boards. This will really pull your jobs to the top of the page. And then the last one on this page is for campaigns. So for those of you that use campaigns, this is a great ad. Okay. And if you're not using campaigns, you should. It's an awesome tool in ORC that's, in my opinion, too lightly used. But now you can actually upload and store images as an admin on the back end that your recruiter users or sourcers, whoever it is that's creating your campaigns, can just grab from and use instead of storing on their desktop or storing over there and having this huge variety of things out there that are going out in campaigns. You can have validated and confirmed images that you want them to use, a whole list of them if you want, and they can just reach in and grab them. It makes your campaigns a lot easier to replicate, a lot easier to design. So I think that's a really nice ad. So, and then here are just some daily use enhancements. So just to make the recruiter's life easier, there's now email validation. So it brings it to RFC standards, which means it has to have a land, and it actually has to have something.com on the end. So it has to sort of make sense. As you know, instant communication with your candidates is huge. You want to be able to reach out and start talking to them right away. And if their email is bad, that takes that away. So this makes sure their email is good, and you can start scheduling interviews and doing whatever you need to do right from the get-go. And that leads right into number 2 here, double booking of interviews. So as you know, right now, when you set up interviews with Interview Scheduler, you have basically time slots. So you can have, 4 people in 15-minute increments in an hour, that kind of thing. This now allows you to double book. So you can have multiple people within the same 15-minute window if you want to. This is really good for high volume hiring. Maybe these positions have a lot of turnover. You're constantly bringing people in and you want to get them interviewed. It's also good for like campus hiring. So you want to bring people in and just kind of shuffle people through your campus hiring process. This is a really good option. Also for the recruiters, top candidate recommendations. So at a glance, instead of having to dig into everybody's record, you'll be able to see candidate ratings from recommended lists. So there's attributes that you could set as to flag this person as a top candidate. So the attributes are profile, education, experience, and skills if you're using them. So if they hit that mark and you do a search, boom, here is your top recommended people. They've got 3 stars. This one's only got 2 stars. This one doesn't have any stars. We don't want them. And it just helps line everything up, and it brings your search into a much more fulfilling search because it actually brings you the right people without having to dig into everybody's profile. Big time saver, big click saver. And you're also able to dismiss candidates from there as well. So if you're looking at your list and like, nope, 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 and now you have your top ones, you can do all kinds of fun things like move them into a pool. And now you've got your top candidates in this great pool. And maybe with that pool, you want to create a campaign. You know, grab one of those saved images and create a campaign and reach out. Really great to get some active candidates. So candidate applications. So previously answered pre-screening questions can now be pre-filled. Yay! That's seems very small, but that is a big one that's been asked for a while. So if on job A, I apply and pre-screening question 1 is on there and I answer it and I apply for job B and pre-screening question 1 is also on there, it will carry my answer over. So that's a great add. And then diving in administrator updates. This is a good one. So again, if we have any sysadmins on here, you know how you can import and export between environments. So you have your dev environments and you create a career section or you create something you can export it and then import it into the new one without recreating. Well, now you can do specific career sections. So instead of having to bring over every career section, you could just bring over one. So that is a nice add. And from what I understand, they're rolling that out into different sections as well. So your CSPs, your job application flows, those kinds of things where often you have maybe some practice ones, that kind of thing in there. They'll pull you right out and you can bring over just what you want. Data purge controls. So for campaign email metrics. So this just allows you get all these emails out there and you have metrics that start stacking up about who did what 2 years ago. You can purge all those. That helps your speed and efficiency of your environment. And then you can control country names. So the one example that I read about this was Turkey. I did not know this, but apparently Turkey spells turkey different than we spell turkey. And so it allows you to change the word turkey to how they actually spell it. Because the system won't let you do it. The system's going to spell turkey like we spell turkey in the United States. But if you have this control turned on, you can flip it to whatever you want. Okay, so nice little admin add. And sorry, I know I'm almost out of time, but I did want to toss out one thing at the end that it came out 23B, but it's very cool. And I'm not sure if people are aware. If you use Office 365 to schedule your meetings after 23B or with 23B and beyond, you can now incorporate Teams. So I think that's one that's often missed. And I just wanted to toss that out there while I had y'all as an audience. Yeah. Okay, that's recruiting.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shri. I'm a senior consultant here at Acuity, and today I'll be walking you through the 23C changes and updates in comp, absence, and benefit modules. To begin with, comp, it has the least number of changes in this release, and the best part is it allows you to view the document of record section in the standalone salary details page of the responsive employment info action page. This is related to a 23 compensation feature to include the document of records along with the salary proposals. So what's the benefit? This help you to view all the supporting documentations which cause the salary change, right? Like everything in one place, like an appraisal or an individual bonus of that sort. And to enable this feature, you don't need to do anything else. The section appears when a document of record is attached to that as a part of that salary change. Otherwise, it will be collapsed. You don't see anything. So that's one big change on the salary part. And on the Redwood experience side, as Jay mentioned, HCM pages are being recreated. And so as these following pages on the comp side have been recreated using the Redwood toolkit to enhance the user experience. They'll be enabled by default, but you can always turn them off using the respective profile options. So moving on, the absence has quite a big list of changes that have come in 23C. To begin with, the first one is absence transaction approval date in BI Publisher. What does that mean? BI Publisher now can record the approval date when an absence is approved. So whenever you approve an absence, the absence data is transferred to the payroll. And if the payroll doesn't happen before the payroll cutoff date, the employee won't be paid for that absence in that pay period. So with this availability of the approval date inside the reporting, you can always investigate the issues related to non-payments and determine if the approvals were the reason for this non-payment and so on. So this would be a great add-on to go and check when when is the approval happened and how the payments are done. So great field to have as part of the reconciliations. The next one is the future absence processing. And this is a new configuration option, which was introduced in the absence batch parameters page in the previous release itself. But this option can be used to process all the future absences and for all types, or for all of a same type of or a different types of absences, and any impacted absences that are part of this concurrent or shared plan will be impacted with this new profile option. This functionality is also extended to include absences entered on a time card. The next one is absence approval notification delivered regardless of server status. Previously, whenever the SOA server or the SOA server is down or experiences a downtime during the absence submission, the application wouldn't generate an approval notification for the submitted absence. With this new feature, the application can now register a severe server error in the log file and can continue the approval process by generating an absence notification for the managers. This removes all the orphan records also for absence transactions with that attachments that are in the approval status and whenever the server goes down. So by sending this absence notification, irrespective of the server status, it eliminates the need to re-enter this absence again. So in short, even if your server gets down when you submit an absence, the approval still will be recorded, and it avoids the users to go and reapply for the absence. The next one is support for rolling backward the plan term type and multiple assignments. With this feature, now the application also support the qualification plans with the rolling backward plan term is used for an entitlement calculation. This is applicable only for the qualification plans. So this feature is still in the plan of being applied on different plan types, but right now this is applied or this is supported and available only for the qualification type of plans, where you can the rolling backward plan term type is used or is available for for calculating all your entitlements. Next one is automatic accrual recalculation with enrollment end date. So this feature displays, I'm sorry, I think I have jumped one more. Yeah. So the next one is this, the display required field for attachments in administrator absence records page. So what does that mean? The system has been enabled to display a required field whenever the attachments are mandatory for the absence entry. So sometimes you would go and complete your absence entry without knowing the fact that you need to also attach some sort of supporting documents for your absence. You will be thrown an error only when you complete your, when you're trying to go and submit or save your action. Right now, this has been enhanced, so you can see a little asterisk or mandatory sign or icon next to your attachments in case you're required to submit your certificates or the leave of absence supporting document. Going to the next one, automatic accrual recalculation with enrollment end date. What does that mean? So when you make any manual adjustments to the enrollments, especially the end date, like, when you want to plan to unenroll somebody, because the accruals have already been calculated until the end of the period, you were forced to go and run the jobs to recalculate those accrual numbers. But with this new features, these accruals are automatically rerun behind the screens without without the users go and submitting the jobs manually. Uh, any changes to your enrollment start dates or end dates, the jobs are run automatically for you. So this avoids those additional steps of rerunning those. That's about this automatic accrual recalculation. And absence planning for managers. This is one of the favorite feature that has been come in this release, I would say, because line managers or your HR managers can now see this new page called absence planning page, where they can see all the absences related to their reports, the direct or indirect reports, whether it's accrual type or a compensatory plans, any type of absence related, they can see for everyone in their organization hierarchy on this page. This helps them totally to understand how to visualize the upcoming absences of their direct reports and better help the managers to plan their tasks accordingly. So they get a timeline view of all the absences by his or her subordinate, and help them to visualize and plan their tasks accordingly. Provide formula execution statistics. So this could be a great help, especially if you are trying to troubleshoot why a certain absence plan or absence type is not calculating the numbers accurately or the way you are expecting. There is a detailed execution statistics or details of fast formulas. The custom fast formulas will be recorded and logged in the ESS output files. So when you submit a job, you can go and review the log and audit the log in a detailed way, wherein the formulas, along with the log messages that you put inside the formula, you also can see additional information on, why the formulas took so long, which exact call or invocation has taken longer time to execute the formula of the job. This helps you to go and fix your performance issues or address them within your fast formulas. So this is more a technical aspect, but it's a great feature to understand what's causing the real pain. So enhanced person selection for accrual processing. So when you run this certain absence related processes like update, accrual plan, enrollment, or any of the delivered scheduled jobs or processes related to absences, the application calculates the accruals for future periods automatically until the last accrual run date of that employee. Concurrently, it also calculates the accruals for all the future hires who falls within the accrual run date. So far, this job has been doing calculating the accrual process only for the employees until a given future date. It never considered any future hires. Say suppose you're submitting this job until the end of the year, it goes and does the accrual calculations for only the active employees in the system. But going forward, this also looks at any future hires and start doing their calculations, accrual calculations too, as of that accrual run date. And the last one, payroll interface update mode for transfer to pay. This new absence updates to payroll interfaces ensures this only absence changes are updated for the payroll interface. So what exactly it means is like when somebody records a 3-week absence, daily entries are interfaced to payroll. Like, somebody goes on a 3-day vacation, each entry is passed as an individual record to the interface, in the delivered interface to the payroll. But with this new change, wherein you are introducing an update mode inside the payroll interface. This helps you replace any daily entries that are being interfaced with the changes that you might be putting when you're applying for the absence. So this way, it helps you to eliminate any unnecessary retro pay transactions that can be complicating the reconciliation or performance of payroll calculation. So this is more related on the way how you are sending your entries in the payroll interface from absence to the payroll interface. So again, on the absence side, we have got a couple of pages that has been updated through the Redwood experience. Existing absences and plan balance summary, all these, they are available right away when you get into this release, but again, they can be updated or, they can be turned off using your profile options. Okay. Moving on, next is the benefits. So the benefits has come up with an enhanced benefit service center. So this new feature enables the users to have this custom lookup where you can set up some limitations on each of these category that you are going to see under my dashboard. So especially if you have too many numbers against each category under your, the benefits and service center, you don't want to see this high volume data, or you want to reduce, if you are, especially if you face any errors due to this high volume data, you can apply a row limit on these counts. And when you set these profile options with a row limit, you will see a little plus or minus symbol, which means that, that has been limited, and you can expand that plus sign to see the rest of the employee count. So this is just to, see limit your numbers on the service screen. And the next one, probably, many users like me would appreciate this. Test and validate the participant eligibility profiles. So, so far, we all been creating eligibility profiles, and there are only few places in benefits that helps you. I think there is one job that you can go and run, but that job again is limited to only few formula types where you can go and test if this employee has been really picked or not. But that feature has been enhanced to support all the formula types and eligibility profile types to go and test and validate whether is your employee or is the assignment, even it's suppose multiple assignments too are being accepted, or part of the eligibility profile is eligible or ineligible to the rules that you have created around. So great feature, especially you want to go and troubleshoot why somebody is not being picked in the benefit plan or a program. So this would comes really handy. Enforce plan dependency rules. So this this is a part of the self-service grouping page where you can go, previously we would have defined several fast formulas to create such kind of dependencies between plan A and plan B. Right, the most common type would be, the high deductible plan with HSA. Somebody is being enrolled in the high deductible, and you want them also to go enroll or choose HSA plan. That kind of dependencies would require to go and create some sort of post validation type of formulas, and the employees will not know that they have to do this until they go and submit their whole benefit elections. So to avoid those kind of things, this new feature enables you to go and configure, what are the main and dependent plans. You can go and select your main and dependent plan. That way, these plans will be arranged in that format on the self-service grouping page, or the self-service page, or in short, the benefit election page. So employees know that, they have to choose this before they elect the parent plan and make their elections without getting through that error processes. So again, one great add-on. Compare eligibility profile before and after. So this especially comes really handy when you are migrating your profiles and between multiple instances. So you can compare the profiles between two configuration packages. So you can export these packages as an XML file and start comparing what has been changed between test and non-test environments or prod and non-prod environments without going and recreating them again. So on the data loader side, quite a few benefit objects have been made enabled to be able to load through your spreadsheet loaders or data loaders, which were earlier being manual. So one great one great idea is the standard rates and variable rates, which would be a huge number to being able to go and manually create them on each environment. So they have been enabled on the HDL side. So it's a great addition again. The Redwood page experience again has been extended on the benefit side too, especially the batch parameters and the benefit person information. So they're still working on improvising the other pages. I think these would be these two pages would be great enough to get started on experiencing this new UI type. Yeah.
And thank you, Suri. This is Sonia. What I'd like to do, Jay, if you could go down to the HCM common features. Sri, I'm sorry, I'm going to put you on the hook to work through those. And then we have another session, which we'll talk about here at the end, coming up in a couple of weeks, where we'll front load that session, which is covering the same content with the global payroll and time and labor. We will record all sessions. And so everyone who has attended this session and who attends that session will get both recordings to make sure all the content is covered, but we're running short on time. Okay. So why don't you keep going with the HCM common features 3, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. Yes. So on the common side, inside the security, there's one feature that has been changed. So when you're creating your personal security profiles, earlier when you want to go and add certain exclusion rules, that were possible only if you make your security profile secured by using AOR, areas of responsibility only. This section of exclusion rules would be enabled for you to go and add any specific rules. But now this profile has been defined using a different criteria, so that this exclusion rules are available only, it doesn't limit itself to AOR. Any other criteria that you want to create your person profile, so this exclusion rules are available, and this this avoids you to the pain of creating those custom sequels, and this has been addressed in 23C. And we have quite a list of HCM extracts. Yes. So unlike previously, this is something, the most technical people would appreciate. It was such a cumbersome thing to go and query for any user entity. The search page or the search buttons were not that user friendly to go and really look at for a specific user entity. But this page has been extended or enhanced, and they also delivered quite a few of filtering options where you can go and refine the results by type and other categories. The user entity page has been enhanced to go. The search bar has been really enhanced, and it's right now also providing quite a good list of details to see in-depth information on the user entities. And on the HTL side, there are quite a few objects that has been, I think, I'm sorry, I have a time lag. Okay. I'm able to see. Jay, did you change the screen? I'm still seeing HCM extracts.
No, I have the data loader showing on my end.
Okay, let me just refresh my screen. Okay, I see the data loader. Yeah, failing schedules. So this is again a great addition that's coming in 23C. So for suppose the schedules being failed because the user is no longer with the system or with the company, or their permissions have been changed. The failing schedules identify all the data sets or the reasons that have caused why the data loader or the data schedule jobs have been failed. And all such will be recorded if they follow a certain pattern, and a warning is raised against such data set. And all the staging tables will be purged by all the old data. So this failing schedules are automatically created by the HDL, and they can now be managed by the administrators. So HTM, yeah, and on the common side, we have an additional privilege that has been released with 23C, which enables the users, earlier any user that has to do just the data loading aspect were given the integration specialist job role. Right now, with this new release, the data loader capabilities have been separated from the integration specialist job role, and users can be assigned just the data loader privilege role. So they can just go and access the data exchange area, view all the business job objects, and do the data loading activities without accessing the other areas which the integration specialist would have been done. So this is a great separation of privileges from the integration roles. So yeah, with this new release, quite a few objects across various modules, as you see on the list here, has been enabled for HDL capabilities. Benefits, core HR, we have listed and recorded them separated by each module. On the benefits side, as I explained previously, we have data loader available to upload all the variable rates and standard rates. Same with on the core HR and talent side. I think this is quite a big list. Should have another slide too, Jay, if you want to scroll down. So this can be a great reference if you want to see what are the new business objects available for data loading in this new release.
All right, I'll go ahead and take this, Cami. So thank you, Suri, for jumping ahead in time. We have a lot of content to cover. The topics we were not able to cover in this session were global payroll and time and labor. So what we're going to do is our session coming up on the 18th, we're going to front load with global payroll and time and labor. And we will record that session as well, and we'll continue to cover the rest of the content. Hopefully we can get through it. But regardless, we will record both sessions. We'll be sending out both recordings. And if you're not able to make the session on the 18th, we'll make sure and send all of you that recording as well. So yeah, we appreciate your time, and sorry we weren't able to cover. We also have an Oracle recruiting offer enhancement session coming in up on the 12th. All right, and I believe all the questions got answered that were asked in the chat. If anyone has a question they would like to ask, we do have a couple more minutes.
Or if you have anything that comes up later, please feel free to reply back when you get the link, and then we can answer that as well.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. I know that was a lot of information fast, but as I said, we'll be sending out a recording, and then we have the other session on the 18th as well. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.